remember watching them study at nighttime, and they had real good grades. They had A's and B's. I didn't have A's and B's, and I remember being kind of sad about that. And then also I remember my daddy buying his first house and how proud he was to buy that first house. The interest rate on the house was 13%, which seemed almost normal back then in 1982, 83. I think that him being a veteran helped him to get the house, but he still had to pay a high interest rate. But it still worked out well because I think we bought the house for $40,000, and when we sold it years later, it was worth about 140,000 or something like that. But that was kind of a big move. But I also know at that time, I don't think my parents will mind me mentioning this now, that they did actually have a bankruptcy. I don't remember the details of it, but I think they had to endure a bankruptcy. But I don't remember all the details of that, right? But I do know that culture of kind of like believing that life, you were supposed to progress, that every stage you're supposed to be better than you were at the previous stage. I learned that from kind of watching them, and that's a beautiful culture. That's a wonderful thing. What they didn't have was nobody ever talked about owning stock, which again, you take that little bit of extra money, own stock over a 20-year period, you're going to have plenty of money. And then there was no conversation about owning a business. There's not, that wasn't even a concept, but I got a taste of it when I used to. There was this lady. I got exploited as a child. Did y'all know that I was a victim of child exploitation? How y'all knew this? That I literally, if I wanted to be a victim, I could probably like tell a story and write a book or something about being trafficked. I was kind of trafficked, but not in a sexual way, and not in a Diddy kind of way. But you can say I was trafficked. Let me explain my trafficking story here. Okay, so I'm not making. If you really were trafficked, my heart goes out to you. So please don't think I'm making light of that. But anyway, here's what happened. Like, it was real stuff. So this lady, this white lady, used to pick us up because we were cute little kids, and she would drive us to a neighborhood and give us these boxes of candy to sell. She would pay like 25 cents, 30 cents for each box, maybe 50 cents. We would sell them for $3 because we were kids, and she would give us a script to read, and it would be like, my name is Boyce, and I am selling candy to stay out of the streets so that I don't kill you and go to prison. Whatever it was. It was something like, those little Boys in the Hood stories, right? I didn't live in no hood like that. I wasn't in a rich neighborhood or anything like that. Not even middle class. But I wasn't like a street dude. I didn't want to be. I knew street dudes. I wasn't trying to be one, right? And but I would read this little poor black kid story, and at first, it was really hard. I didn't know how to get people to buy, but eventually they started buying. I got really good at it. I became like one of the best salespeople in the group. So at the end of the day, the lady would pay us 75 cents for every box we sold. She would keep $2 per box, so she's getting paid big time. And she would pull out the bankroll and give us, like, at the end of the night, I get a $20 bill. On the weekends, I can make as much as $60. I remember how good I felt just knowing that the amount of effort I put into my little business was going to determine how much money I had that day. I ate that stuff up. And unfortunately, it all came to an end, just like every other Goodfellas story, right? It can't, you have the, they have the biopics where it's like you have the good times and the guy's making money and it's like stacked to the ceiling. Then suddenly there's like the police raid or something, and everybody goes to jail. So there was that one day where there's a little girl. I'll never forget this girl. Her name was Waynette. This dang little girl came out, and I didn't like her. She had such a nasty attitude.